This is the Forest Lodge, a new home for Prince William and Princess Catherine. If you were handed the keys to the British royal kingdom, castles, palaces, centuries of marble and majesty, where would you choose to live? But Prince William and Princess Catherine? They packed their boxes and prepared to move into a quiet red brick home on the edge of the woods. Is it about space for their three young royals, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, or a strategic move ahead of William's eventual reign? Let's pull back the velvet curtains and peek inside this royal reboot. The Prince and Princess of Wales' new home, Forest Lodge, is more than 250 years old. This mansion isn't just grand and designed to dazzle dignitaries. It's also something more subtle. A private family home carved into the woodland, with the grace of old England and the privacy of a country retreat. That's precisely why the Prince and Princess of Wales chose it and are hoping to settle into their new forever home by the end of this year. But with a new home comes a new question. Why leave Adelaide Cottage? Adelaide Cottage is a historic residence located within the home park of Windsor Castle, in Windsor, England. It forms part of the Crown Estate and has a rich history, being closely associated with the British royal family. In 2022, William, Prince of Wales, and Catherine uprooted their lives in London and moved to Windsor with their three children. The cottage's initial name was Adelaide Lodge, but it was later changed to the more informal cottage to reflect its smaller size and intended use as a casual retreat. Although the Prince and Princess of Wales have not said goodbye to their London residence at Kensington Palace and occasionally stay in apartment 1A during business trips, the charming historic Adelaide Cottage has become their home. The main reasons for the royal family's move were their desire to lead a quiet, comfortable life and to be closer to Queen Elizabeth. Unfortunately, Her Majesty passed away, but other members of the royal family live nearby, with whom the Prince and Princess of Wales have good relations. Thus, King Charles and Queen Camilla spend much time at Clarence House or Highgrove. Prince Edward and his wife Sophie also live nearby at Bagshot Park. Cottage reportedly has no live-in staff, and there's also one minor issue with Adelaide. It's too small. No room for extra security, no space for guests, no accommodation for the team that shadows them around the clock. Not to mention, the family of five is growing. Not in size, perhaps, but in duty. And duty, as we all know, takes up space. Also, context truly matters here. This move to Forest Lodge isn't just about a change of address. It's about turning a page after one of the most challenging chapters in royal history. The past few years have tested the monarchy in ways few could have imagined. First came the heartbreaking loss of Queen Elizabeth II, the family's guiding light. Then, almost unthinkably, both King Charles and Princess Catherine faced cancer diagnoses within months of each other. Now, with Catherine thankfully in remission and slowly returning to public life, this move feels deeply symbolic, a quiet act of renewal. Forest Lodge, tucked away in Windsor's woodlands, offers privacy, peace, and the sense of starting fresh. It's about recovery, reflection, and family. For William and Catherine, the move might represent more than a new home. It's a gentle declaration that life goes on, even after storms. In that sense, Forest Lodge is a symbol of resilience, and perhaps a new royal chapter written in softer tones. So, the move to Forest Lodge, a property described by insiders as more suitable for a working royal household, seems not just sensible but inevitable. And that's where things get even more interesting. Curious where the Forest Lodge is and why it matters? It sits deep within Windsor Great Park, a royal hunting ground since the days of William the Conqueror, covering about 4,800 acres of woodland, lakes, and manicured gardens. This area is layered with centuries of secrets. The park itself dates back to the 13th century, when it was used for hunting by monarchs from Henry VIII to Queen Victoria. Forest Lodge offers the best of all worlds: proximity to the castle and Queen Elizabeth II's legacy, privacy from prying eyes, and a home large enough to raise three children without the constraints of city life. Forest Lodge reportedly features a tennis court, pond, paddock, and private grounds. For Charlotte, with her love of tennis, and George and Louis full of youthful energy, this is hardly small time. Ordinarily known as Holly Grove, the house dates back to the 1770s, a time when powdered wigs were in fashion and Georgian architecture was the peak of taste. Its name was changed to the more distinguished Forest Lodge by none other than Edward VIII in 1936. Yes, the same king who famously abdicated the throne for love. A romantic gesture? Perhaps, but it certainly gave the estate a more stately ring. Built in the 1770s, this stately home has been occupied by a long line of high-ranking, if not household name figures. Among its most notable tenants, Sir Malcolm Murray, an equerry to Queen Victoria, Sir William Fremantle, clerk of the Privy Council, Sir John Aird, a key figure in British civil engineering, whose name still echoes in infrastructure today. The house has long served as a private retreat for the powerful and the privileged, but not until now has it become the official residence of a future king and queen. It's not open to the public, unlike Windsor Castle or even Frogmore, which gives the Wales family something royals have historically craved but rarely had: privacy. Unlike Kensington Palace, where tourists line the gates, or even Adelaide Cottage, which was only partially shielded, Forest Lodge is tucked behind security-patrolled private roads, accessible only to those with clearance or an invitation. It's the kind of place where you might spot a pheasant before a photographer. A newly restricted zone has been introduced around Forest Lodge. Reports describe a perimeter with new fencing, cameras, and tree cover. As part of the move, a newly announced exclusion area has been created, slicing into land once open to the public. For years, locals and dog walkers roamed the nearby woodlands, entering Windsor Great Park through Cranbourne Gate. No more. Understandably, the move has sparked some local frustration. Is it about security? Absolutely. But it also signals a more reclusive chapter in the royal couple's life. So, what does Forest Lodge look like? Forest Lodge is a classic Georgian structure, dignified and symmetrical, with a soft brick exterior framed by stucco pilasters, those column-like features that give it an almost classical air. At first glance, Forest Lodge's red brick facade might seem modest for a royal residence, but step inside and it's another story. So, let's talk about size. 8 bedrooms offer not only privacy for the family of 5, but space for staff, security, and guests, a necessity in the fishbowl of royal life. 6 chimneys signal a house ready to weather any storm, or British weather, while 9 bay windows ensure there's always sunlight falling somewhere on a well-worn armchair or bookshelf. According to all verified reports, the Prince and Princess of Wales will maintain their no live-in staff policy here, just as they've done at Adelaide Cottage, their previous Windsor home. It's a subtle but powerful statement. A royal couple that prefers bedtime stories and kitchen chats over formalities and fanfare. So what does Forest Lodge look like inside? The palace has not released photos, and understandably so. But according to historical records and real estate whispers, the mansion features multiple grand reception rooms, a sweeping staircase worthy of a Netflix drama, and classic Georgian windows that catch the afternoon sun. With an 8-bedroom mansion at their disposal, Princess Catherine has reportedly been selecting furniture, including a dining table seating 24, and color palettes, signaling her deeper involvement in the home's creation. There are no helicopter pads, no opulent Versailles-like fountains. The luxury here is privacy. It's about finding a place where their 3 children can grow up with a sense of calm and country air, where barking paparazzi are kept far behind the tree line. It's about stability, roots, a bit of British soil that belongs to them, even if only on paper through the crown. The estate, which became crown property in 1829, has gracefully aged like a fine wine. It was designated a Grade II listed building in 1972, meaning its architectural significance is officially protected. And while it's been respectfully updated over the years, its bones remain profoundly Georgian and deeply British. In 1998, Forest Lodge was advertised for rent at about £60,000 a year, roughly $188,000 in today's money. If you're curious what the Crown Estate actually is, it's a vast portfolio of land and property across Britain, including Regent Street, Windsor Great Park, the entire UK seabed out to 12 nautical miles, and thousands of rural and commercial holdings. Though technically owned by the monarch in right of the Crown, meaning it passes from one sovereign to the next, it's managed independently by the Crown Estate Commissioners, and its profits, around $557 million in 2024, go directly to the UK Treasury. Here's where things get interesting and a little controversial. After an extensive 2001 renovation costing $2 million, Forest Lodge underwent a transformation, modernizing its interiors while preserving its Georgian charm. At that time, it was valued at $7.45 million. But real estate, like royalty, ages either gracefully or extravagantly. Today, should Forest Lodge ever hit the open market, an unlikely scenario given its Crown Estate status, it would likely be worth over $22 million. And now, with the Prince and Princess of Wales preparing to move in, it's had yet another overhaul. That includes new doors and windows, removal of internal walls, ceiling repairs, and new floors. The work is reportedly funded personally by the royal couple. No taxpayer checks here. In an era where royal spending is scrutinized like never before, this decision speaks volumes. By contrast, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's 2019 refurbishment of Frogmore Cottage drew public ire when the sovereign grant footed the $3.1 million bill. Though the Duke and Duchess of Sussex eventually repaid the full amount after stepping back from royal duties, the damage was done, a PR bruise the monarchy still remembers. It seems William and Catherine learned from that drama and chose a more discreet, privately funded approach. What's more, in line with their increasingly independent lifestyle, the couple has opted for no live-in staff, just like at their former home, Adelaide Cottage. This is a home meant for real family life, breakfast with the kids, quiet evenings, laughter echoing through hallways. Not state banquets and royal fanfare. Any minor renovations, fresh paint, security upgrades, perhaps a child-proofing or two, will also come from their own pockets, not the public purse. Even though they self-fund renovations, working within a listed building means constraints on what changes can be made. No bulldozing, no modern facades. A royal home is history wrapped around everyday life. Just a family choosing where to raise their children, on their own terms. But behind those private decisions lies a more surprising truth. This isn't just any royal residence. The house is relatively unknown to the public. Far from the grandeur of Sandringham or Kensington Palace, it's private. It's not what you'd expect from the future King and Queen of England. And that's precisely the point. Let's rewind. In the 1970s, Forest Lodge was reportedly earmarked for Princess Anne, the Queen's famously no-nonsense daughter. The story had all the right ingredients: a stately home, close to Windsor Castle, and suitable for a working royal. But Anne never moved in. Decades later, the same rumors swirled around Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York. In the early 2000s, she was said to be eyeing the property after her divorce from Prince Andrew. But again, nothing came of it. The gates stayed shut. And yet, despite all the royal whispers and missed opportunities, Forest Lodge remained quietly dignified, never competing for attention, simply waiting. Forest Lodge isn't flashy. It doesn't wear its grandeur on its sleeve like Kensington Palace. It doesn't carry the weight of history like Buckingham Palace. But that's precisely its charm. Some early tabloid speculation suggested Forest Lodge might be a temporary stepping stone toward something bigger. Others have wondered if it signals a long-term departure from London entirely. At this point, there's no confirmed plan for William and Catherine to leave Kensington Palace permanently, though many believe Forest Lodge will become their primary family home, especially while their children are in school. More importantly, The location is a logistical dream. The house sits just 4 miles from Lambrook School, where the Welch children are enrolled. William and Catherine are famously hands-on parents, often seen on the school run, rain or shine, and this move keeps them within arm's reach of that routine. Let's be honest, Forest Lodge is not some dusty aristocratic relic. It's a house that seems to have waited for the right royals. The property balances privacy and proximity, 2 critical needs for the modern monarchy. Windsor Castle is just minutes away for official business. The countryside offers long dog walks and quiet reflection. And unlike the grandeur of Kensington Palace or the isolation of Anmer Hall, Forest Lodge feels like a middle path, a home base with both soul and strategy. But here's the real question. Why not move into Windsor Castle? Windsor Castle, one of the most famous royal homes on Earth, is right there. It was Queen Elizabeth II's beloved residence, especially in her later years. It has 1,000 rooms. It is steeped in history, majesty, and public expectation. So why not move in? Because the new royals are doing something profoundly different. They are redefining what power looks like. William and Catherine's move to Forest Lodge, and away from literal royal castles, is not about rejecting tradition. They don't want to rule from thrones. They want to lead from the ground, or at least from the woods. Forest Lodge is no ordinary mansion. It's a place where Britain's historical shadows walk alongside deer in the misty mornings. What will Forest Lodge become? It's easy to look at this home as just another royal residence. But what if it's more than that? What if Forest Lodge is the place where the next generation of royals grows up grounded, gracious, and deeply aware of their role, not just as figureheads, but as stewards of history and protectors of the public trust? Have you ever lived somewhere that changed your life? Do you think William and Catherine's move signals a new era for the royals, or is it just a quiet relocation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Whether you're a royal watcher or just someone who loves a good house story, Forest Lodge has everything: history, elegance, mystery, and now, the family that may one day reign over Britain. William's decision to maintain Forest Lodge as his residence, even after becoming king, marks a departure from centuries of monarchs living at Buckingham Palace. The palace, which is currently undergoing a decade-long $469 million renovation, is expected to serve more as the monarchy's headquarters rather than a family home, similar to how Queen Elizabeth II viewed it as her office while considering Windsor her true home. This shift comes as King Charles himself is unlikely to ever use Buckingham Palace as his primary residence, instead remaining at Clarence House even after the palace renovations are completed in 2027. The extensive renovation means Buckingham Palace will not host state visits until 2027, with Windsor Castle taking over ceremonial duties for the next 3 years. So here's a question for you. If you were a future king or queen, would you choose a gilded palace or a forest hideaway where only the birds and the wind know your name? For William and Catherine, the choice has been made. And for Forest Lodge, the next chapter has just begun. Let us know in the comments. Would you want to call a place like this home?